And welcome back to this very special episode of the Marty Mariner Show. And as you can see right beside me, he is the championship winning coach of the Central Coast Mariners, the gaffer, Nick Montgomery. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you? It's been 5 weeks since the big dance. It's gone quickly.
Absolutely, mate. Still buzzing though, still buzzing. But I mean, and for you guys, that was mentioned to Sean the other day. The football clubs are very fluid things, and they never stop. But you did get a bit of a break. Saw some pics over in Vanuatu. It must have been good to at least get away for a little bit, mate.
Yeah, look, it was awesome. I mean, when you go to Vanuatu, you see what impact it's had on them as a country, and Brian's impact and what Brian's done, the inspiration that he's given to everybody in the Pacific Islands. So, yeah, it was a great break. A lot of people wanting photographs, and you really understand when you get there that how many people watch the game. And I think the whole island, 300,000, I think,
Yeah,
watched the game, and it was like they'd won the. So it was a special time, but managed to get some down with the kids as well, the wife and my girls, and trip, and then came back and took the kids up to the snow. So that was nice as well. And now, but every night, me, Sergio, Matty, Simon, Sean, Rich, the owner, just on the phone constantly, and selling players and doing what the Mariners do and doing what we do, and that's always looking for new players to come in and new projects like Sammy and like Nectar and like Jason Cummings, because the reality is that's football.
absolutely.
We move forward and we don't look back, although we'll definitely be looking back for many years at the memory of that grand final. But now we're looking at the next one.
Absolutely. Looking forward to making the next lot of memories. And I'm sure we won't be waiting a decade for the next one, mate. I absolutely guarantee that one. But let's just touch on those players. Sammy and Nectar heading over for Middlesbrough and Sunderland, respectively. You've played in those leagues for many, many years, mate. What are they in for over there? And mentally, I think both of them are in pretty good shape to be able to handle the rigors of that competition, right?
Yeah, look, the Championship's one of the toughest leagues in the world. It's probably the sixth biggest league in the world. So for us as a club to transfer players to that league, and I think that's Garang to Newcastle, next to Sunderland and Sam at Middlesbrough. That's the three biggest northeast clubs of England,
Yep.
and that's pretty special for the Mariners to transfer three players, different positions, to clubs like that. So it's amazing. And look, we try to prepare them here
Yep.
with my knowledge and Sergio's knowledge that when they go overseas, they understand. And Sammy experienced that he wasn't ready last time he went to Portugal, but the good thing is he came back and now he's developed into a player that I've no doubt will be a success in the Championship as well as Nectar. But yeah, there'll be times it'll be hard, and
Yep.
and they'll have to dig in like you always do. And there's not 20 players in a squad there. There's 40, 50 players in some Championship squads. So it's going to be a big shock to them, but they've both got the ability and the mindset, and obviously it's a great opportunity for them.
Oh, absolutely. And we'll once the Mariner, always a Mariner, I'm sure we'll be keeping an eye on the boys as well. And of course, Jason Cummings, someone actually asked me the other day whether we'll miss him more on the field than off the field. I think that's a pretty decent question, don't you think?
He just missed every player, both on and off the
Yeah.
field. But again, Jason's personality, I think he really did light up the A League. After COVID, when a time it really needed
Yeah.
some personalities, and he was, it was a people's favourite, and he'll go down a legend. What he did in the final, the
Right.
goals he scored, and to get a hat trick in a grand final of that magnitude against Melbourne City,
Yeah.
and nobody will ever forget that. And I just had a message off him 10 minutes ago, so
Yeah.
he's preparing to go on his next adventure, and he deserves it, and he deserves everything that's coming. So do Nectar and Sammy, and it's a short career, and if anyone tells you that it's not about trying to set yourself up for life after football, then I disagree. And unfortunately they have to go out of Australia for that to happen, and we're a club there that we know we'll carry on doing what we're doing and developing these players for youth national teams, senior national teams, and top European clubs around the world
Yeah.
and Asia. And we'll keep working hard to find the next ones coming through and the young boys coming through, and keep challenging and make everybody proud on the coast.
Oh, absolutely. And I know you spent some afternoons out there at Plume Park checking out the youth guys and heading off to into Europe as well. Any hints on which parts of Europe we can be looking forward to you going to?
Oh, look, I'm going to head over with Sergio next week. Be nice to see my dad and my brother for a day or so. And then, yeah, just going to catch up, going to go watch some games, going to pop into some clubs where I've got friends that are coaching now and just go and spend the day. And you can always learn something new. I think it's always good to get out there and go and see. They'll be in pre-season as well, the teams in England. Was going to pop and see Ange at Tottenham, but I think they're actually in Australia when we go. But look, mainly the trip as well was to go and watch Anton Tagliaferro, who is the main sponsor of the scholarships. We've had so much success with his team Bolzan are playing in the Europa League qualifiers. And yeah, we always promised we'd go over and so I'm going to spend a couple of days there. And yeah, there's one of our old players, Manny Aguek, who's just signed there. Plus, again, opportunity to look at players that maybe not for now, but for the future. And then we come back and start pre-season. So yeah, always trying to further educate ourselves and see what we can bring back to the club.
Absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned I'm going to call him a great man now because he's the manager of the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. But Ange Postecoglou, the bloke, I mean, coaching the leagues. What's he going to bring to the game in England? Because, there's lots of people talking about his style and all this sort of thing. But what is he going to bring to Tottenham Hotspur?
Look, I think he's going to bring a surprise, because people were surprised when he got the Celtic job and the success he had there. And no doubt there's people questioned him now, which is crazy, But I have no doubt he'll go there and he'll make Tottenham a team that's, that can challenge. And yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. And yeah, he's going to have to work with the players like he did here. Well, Brisbane and Victory had good teams, good squads. And then he went over to Japan and now he went to Scotland and now it's in England. So it's been a good road for him. And no doubt he's ready now for what the Premier League has to offer. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but he'll have the backing of the Australian public and already, he's apparently making some good waves and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. But I've no doubt he'll be success.
Well, mate, fingers crossed, especially from this Tottenham Hotspur fan as well. So it'll be great. So, and again, we've heard that Harry Kane might be on the market as well. So is Richard Peel giving you the open checkbook, mate, and said go and have a chat with Harry?
No, I don't quite think we've got $160 million, mate, to spend. But Rich is always supportive of everything that we do, and he's a great guy, and he supported myself and Sergio all last season. A lot of people don't see what he does, but he's always there to support us, and yeah, with his backing, we produce what we did last season. But he's also passionate about moving boys into Europe and finding the next young players, and together that's a philosophy that we have at the club, and he puts his money where his mouth is, and yeah, there's no doubt that selling players helps the club be sustainable because we can't continue to just lose money every year, and if we can help that not happen. But also it gives opportunity when we move players on to bring new players through and people talked a lot of last year about Nectar Trantis and Brian Kaltak, but the reality is if Lewis Miller would have stayed, if Kai Rolls would have stayed, then we'd have never signed Brian and never signed Nectar. So again, that's just a perfect example of what we are as a club and the opportunity that it gives to other young players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and talking of players, a massive announcement by the club today. Alou is back. Tell us how all this came about, because, I mean, fantastic player, fantastic bloke. But how have we got him back here at the Mariners?
Look, his relationship with myself and Sergio, and, we've been in touch with him, throughout his whole time supporting him in Germany. It was a tough experience for him, but one he'll learn a lot from. And we tried to bring him back last year and on loan. That didn't happen. He made his Bundesliga debut against Leipzig, and yeah, I believe that he's good enough to play in the Bundesliga. He did. He maybe one appearance, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there. And look, it took a lot of convincing Stuttgart, and Alou was always convinced that he wanted to come here and reignite his career again. So yeah, it was a good transaction between both because Stuttgart believed that we are the best club for Alou to come back to, for us to develop him, and no doubt move him on to a big club back into Europe in the near future. And when that happens, both parties will benefit, and it will have been a beneficial signing, and yeah, to get him is amazing. You know, losing Jason was big.
Yeah.
You know, but we had one target. He was our number one target to come in, and yeah, we know he can get 15 to 20 goals, and if he can do that, yes, we have to play to a way to get him and Dylan Wensdale-Halls, and obviously we know Tullio is an exceptional player that can play anywhere across that front four. So yeah, we needed that, and yeah, we have to be prepared because there is interest in other players as well, and we've had calls, and I've had calls. And yeah, we just have to be prepared. But Alou coming back the fans are buzzing, and the staff are buzzing, the players are buzzing, and we know he's a special player, and in our environment, we know back playing, we know that he can score the goal. So yeah, he's a massive, massive signing for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it says a lot for the club too, because we look at the team last year, like Danny, Vukovic came back, Storm had come back, Sammy had come back. It's just that appeal of how we look after our players, isn't it? That they're prepared to come back and give it another crack here.
Yeah, look, I can't comment on the past. I don't think that was the case in the past. But I think now the example is there because we play great attacking football. We score lots of goals. You know, he's not coming back to a team bottom of the league. He's coming back to the champions of Australia. You know, so he's coming back and he has to shoulder that responsibility now that Jason provided, and that was goals. And that's why we tried so hard to bring him back. But he's also made massive personal sacrifice to come back here. And in the knowledge that, he knows he's coming back in the environment with two coaches that found him and developed him and got him to a point where he burst into the first team, scored lots of goals and went to a big European club. So I suppose it's a bit of a no-brainer, but he had a lot of interest from other A-League clubs, probably offering him a hell of a lot more money than we could, and clubs overseas as well. But I think it's a perfect move for him to come back now and really reignite his career and go on and be the potent striker that he is and get himself in the Socceroos and he's a massive future. So yeah, and he's just a fantastic lad, and he'll add massive strength to the squad and replace that hole, hopefully, that Jason's left, which is a big hole for anybody to fill.
Oh, absolutely, big shoes to fill indeed. And I mean, look, if people haven't got their memberships yet, I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for, but to have this guy electrify at Industry Group Stadium every second or so weekend, I mean, why would you want to miss out on that? Mate, I know we've mentioned before, it's been about 5 weeks. Are you still pinching yourself just that little bit when people are talking to you now? Yeah, we're the championship winning team. Is it still a little bit surreal sometimes?
Look, I think I'm over that at the minute. I watched the game back a couple of times with my girls, and they were on there buzzing to see themselves, not bothered about the score. But look, I genuinely believe we'd win the game. Obviously, emphatically 6-1. I don't think anyone would have thought that. But yeah, to be honest, I've been away and I popped to Erina today, and the amount of people coming up to me and just shaking my hand, they sort of forget and go, oh yeah, I mean, geez, everybody's still buzzing on the Central Coast and so proud of what the team did and the club. And when you get that feeling, it's special to see everybody buzzing, and never seen as many Mariners shirts ever just walking around.
Really?
And that's a special thing as well. So yeah, we know that what we did for the coast, and so proud of the boys and the fans and everybody that was involved last season. And it's always a journey. It's never a simple journey, and we had a couple of downs and some ups last year, but mostly ups. But yeah, just massively happy for everybody. But the way I am, that's gone now. That's in the past. We enjoy it, and we have to look forward now, and we have to start planning to challenge again, albeit losing a lot of players like we did the year before when everybody doubted us again.
Yeah. Now there'll be the silly people out there that'll do it again, mate. You absolutely know that for a fact too. Now, just finally, can we confirm a story? Now, I was told by Sean that you started off the grand final wearing a jacket, and it had to be taken off because a certain guy who looks after our memberships may have got a bit carried away and threw a beer your way somewhere. Can we confirm this story?
We can confirm because Dan has apologised to me profusely. But the funny thing was, I didn't even realise. Maybe I thought it was raining that night, and yeah, maybe it was a little rain cloud that was over me. But someone pointed it out to me after, and I watched it on the video. And yeah, Dan got a little bit too excited. Hopefully, it was just beer. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he's apologised. But anyway, my shirt at the end of the night was completely ruined in my suit, so I've had it dry cleaned, which is I'll send the bill to Dan, I think.
I think you should too, mate. He's probably the second busiest guy on the Central Coast at the moment, and if he's not, he bloody well should be. So, mate, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I know you're absolutely flat out at the moment, sorting a whole heap of stuff out. So, really appreciate you spending some minutes with us here on the Marty Mariner Show. All the best for the pre-season, and we'll catch up with you again close to the kickoff of the season proper.
Cheers, Marty. Top man. Let's go.
Catch you soon.